Have you ever loved someone so deeply, only to lose yourself trying to keep them? Have you ever wandered so far from God that you weren't sure He'd still want you back? This is the story of Amara, the bride who ran away, not from a man, but from herself, and from God. A story of broken dreams, messy choices, and a relentless love that refused to give up. Amara was the kind of woman people prayed to become, raised in church, baptized at 13, spirit-filled, gentle, and pure. She sang in the choir, led women's fellowship meetings, and her voice in worship could calm any storm. But beyond the stage, Amara longed for something else. She wanted love, the kind of love that made you feel seen, heard, chosen. And then she met David. He wasn't what the church folks expected. Tattoos, a smooth tongue, eyes that held secrets. But he had charm. And when he showed up for Bible study week after week just to see her, Amara believed it was God answering her prayers. Against all counsel, she married him. They called her the bride of disobedience. But in her heart, she was just a girl in love. The first few months felt like heaven. David said all the right things, even prayed with her sometimes. But it wasn't long before his real self surfaced. He stopped going to church. He stayed out late. He drank. He cheated. At first, Amara prayed harder, fasted, believed for change. God hates divorce, she'd whisper to herself in the bathroom while wiping mascara-stained tears. But the abuse wasn't just emotional. It became physical, violent. And then came the worst night. She found him in their marital bed, with another woman. Amara collapsed to the floor, not just from the betrayal, but from the voice that whispered, "See? You brought this on yourself." She left that night. No shoes, just her purse and her shame. She didn't go to her parents. They had warned her. She didn't go to church. She couldn't face the stairs. Instead, she ran into the world. Bars, parties, a new city, a new identity. She cut her hair, changed her name on social media, and told herself, "I'm done with God. I've served Him all my life, and look where it got me." The prodigal bride had fled the altar, not just the marriage, but the covenant, the call, the faith. Sin doesn't always feel like rebellion. Sometimes it feels like relief. For a while, Amara felt free. No more judgment, no more pretending. She dated casually, slept around, took up drinking, started modeling lingerie. Men wanted her, women envied her, she was trending. But with every new like, a piece of her died inside. At night, she'd hear worship songs in her sleep, old hymns her mother used to sing. One night, she dreamt she was on stage again, singing, but no sound came out, just blood. She woke up sweating, confused, afraid, but she kept running. She numbed the voice with pills. 2 years later, she hit rock bottom, literally. After a party in the hills, drunk and high, she drove into a tree. They said it was a miracle she survived. In the hospital, as the morphine wore off, so did her pride. Her body was bruised, but her soul was worse. And then she saw her mother walk in, Bible in hand. She hadn't spoken to her family in nearly 3 years. Tears welled up. But instead of a lecture, her mother just hugged her and whispered, "Baby girl, God's not done with you yet." That broke her. For the first time in years, Amara cried, not because she was hurt, but because she remembered what love felt like. That night she prayed. It was messy, honest, desperate. "God, I don't even know if you still want me. I've done things I swore I never would. I've cursed you. I've cursed myself. But if you're still there, I want to come home. I'm tired of running." And in that silence, for the first time in years, she felt peace. Not a dramatic vision, not tongues or angels, just peace. Like someone had finally sat beside her in her pain and said, "I see you." Recovery wasn't instant. She went to rehab, started therapy, cut off old contacts. It took months before she could even walk into a church again. But when she did, something amazing happened. No one judged her. The worship team invited her to sing again. She declined at first, too ashamed. But one Sunday, the worship leader lost her voice, and the pastor looked right at Amara and said, "You're up." Her hands trembled, her voice cracked. But she sang, "Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound." People wept, not because it was perfect, but because it was real. Amara didn't just find God again, she found herself. She began leading support groups for women who had left abusive marriages. She wrote a blog, The Prodigal Bride. Thousands followed. She became a voice for the wounded, a living testimony that you could be broken, messy, even disobedient, and still come back to grace. Years passed. One day, a quiet man named Samuel joined the group. He was gentle, kind, a worshiper, widowed with a daughter. They became friends, then more, and this time, she waited, prayed, listened. And when he proposed, it wasn't in a rush. It wasn't fireworks. It was peace. She walked down the aisle again, not as a perfect bride, but as a redeemed one. We often talk about the prodigal son, but there are prodigal daughters too. Women who loved deeply and got broken, who trusted and were betrayed, who served God and still suffered. Maybe you're one of them. Maybe you're Amara. Here's what I want you to know. God doesn't stop calling you because you made a wrong turn. He doesn't unanoint you because you married the wrong person. He doesn't disqualify you because you sinned in public. He waits, patiently, lovingly. And when you finally turn back, he doesn't say, "I told you so." He says, "Welcome home.